Hi, cutie pies. This is Lanickia, and I am coming to you with another episode of Good Doctor. This is season 5, episode 8. I can't believe this show has been on five seasons. But anyways, here's the Good Doctor. And I'm just gonna break it down in. Okay, and I'm just gonna break it down in in people, in patients, instead of just what happened from scene to scene to scene. So a patient comes in and he's upset because he likes this girl and she just wants to be friends with him, nothing more. And so he runs into a tree and he ends up hurting his legs, and he has to have rods and everything put in his legs. Well, the girl comes to see him to, just wants to check on him and everything. And she was like, I feel so bad, but if I were to be with him, it would just be settling. And so I couldn't be with him. And she tells Sean this. Now, Sean is having issues with Leah because he's not forgiving her for lying to him. And he's let Leah know this, that he doesn't forgive her for lying to him and everything. But so when he sees this patient going through this, and Dr. Parks is like, oh, the girl is way out of his league. He shouldn't have been going for her anyways. Like she would be settling to be with him and everything. Sean is looking at like, well, is Leah out of my league, and would she be settling? Because she didn't want. He remembers that she didn't want to be with someone that had ADS, or is it ADS or ASD? But she didn't want to be with someone who had that. And that was my main thing about Leah in the first place, that I wanted Sean with Carla, because she accepted him for him. And Leah, I always felt like she did not. But anyways, so the patient has his leg worked on by Dr. Lim, and Sean is just making mistakes all over the place. Like, he can't focus because he's distracted by that and everything. And plus he's upset about what happened with the baby. So he can't really focus. So Parks is trying to tell the man, just back up off of her and everything, and maybe she'll end up, coming around. But Sean was like, that's not what you said. You said, because when the man was in surgery, Parks had said that no, like, she was out of his league and she would never come around, because he's not the type of guy that should go for that type of girl, because she's so beautiful and she's thin, and he's a heavy set man, and I guess to his, he's not muscular and just classically handsome and everything. And so the man is like, oh, well, y'all get out or whatever. But Parks does end up telling the man, you need to start loving yourself. Like, stop looking to get with a woman that's out of your league just so you can feel good about yourself. He said, oh, what are you saying? I should date, fat women or, ugly women? He's like, no, I'm saying when you love yourself, it won't matter what she looks like, because you love you. And you're going to love her for who she is, not based off her looks and everything. They did the surgery. Everything went well. Then a woman comes in over a Brazilian butt lift. And this, of course, causes problems between, between Ashner, as well as, and Jordan, Asher and Jordan, because she feels like the woman should have just loved herself and she wouldn't be having these problems. And Asher is just like, it's okay to, enhance if that's what you want to do. And so the woman comes in because she's having issues with her Brazilian butt lift. And so she ends up having a lot of clots. And Morgan told her, I'm not going to judge you. We're going to do whatever you want to do. And so at one point, the woman was so sick that they told her, we need to clear your lungs from all these blood clots, and then do your, fix your Brazilian butt lift. But in doing that, you might have a scar or something. And the woman's just like, nope. I want my butt lift corrected, and then you can worry about the clots and everything. So she said, you said you weren't going to judge me. So that's what they're going and do. And she had so many clots in her brain and in her heart while they were doing their surgery. It was ridiculous. But during this time, we see Asher and Jordan are like going at each other. And it's like they take digs at each other, but sometimes it gets personal with them. You know what I mean? And so Andrews is just like, I'm sick of hearing this. But Morgan is like, no, that's good. They worked together really well because of that. But the Brazilian butt lift, everything ended up turning out great with her. They were able to do it, fix her up and, get through all the clots and everything that she had. And then Asher and Jordan went and they talked, and she told him, argue that the way we argue is how I argue with my brother. I love him. And he's like, oh, and she was like, she was like, or I can't remember what she said, but it was something about his looks. And he was like that was just unnecessarily mean, but they have a cute little relationship. I like those two, on the show. So then we get to Leah and Sean, and he just will not forgive her. He won't, and she tries to get Glassman involved to talk to her, and Glassman really has to tell him Leah is not settling for you, and he's just like, but she said she didn't want someone like me. He was like, she doesn't feel that way now. And so that's it. Like they just he finally gets through to Sean. Well, actually, it's Parks who actually gets through to Sean when he tells the man to love yourself. And Sean was like, okay, that is good advice. And I realized that Leah loves me, and if I love myself more, I would be accepting that someone like that could love me, and they wouldn't be settling. So he goes home. He tried to talk to Leah, y'all. I don't know how this conversation went left, but it went. Okay, so he's trying to talk to Leah, right? And he's like, I forgive you. I know you did it out of love and everything. And she was like, yes. And then he asks her, are you okay with being with someone like me? Valid question, I felt. And she just went off. She was like, are you saying that you don't think that I could love someone like I haven't showed any growth or anything? And he was like, whoa, that's not what I'm saying. And she just was like, I don't want to marry you, and I don't want to live here, and tomorrow I'll come and get my stuff. And I said, oh no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You want to do that. Like to me, it felt like everything Ashawn was worried about and accusing her of, that's exactly what it was. She went to the car to cry. But I don't, like I told y'all, I don't like Leah. I've never liked Leah. I feel like, because Sean said she knew I was a great doctor. So why does this seeing me save someone's life, season 3, why did that motivate her to be like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with you and I see you as a person? And I like, no, she already knew I was a regular doctor. This is why I told you, Sean, you should have stayed with Carla, because she loved you for you and she accepted you for you. But no, you were so fast chasing Leah, and now she's broke up with you and don't want to get married, because deep down, I feel like she thought she was settling too. And I know I might be getting this all wrong, but that's how I feel. I don't like Leah, and I haven't like really liked Leah, and I felt like they were trying to throw her on us on so many episodes to try to like get us to be like have some kind of connection. Not with me. Like, I'm not surprised that she did this at all. But anyways, it is what it is. Moving right along. Okay, so Salem. This woman has went to the hospital and came in and talked to the patient, right? She didn't talk to the patient. And she told the patient, Dr. Murphy gave your baby some messed up medicine. And I could get in trouble for being here, but I felt like I need to let you know he gave the baby expired medicine, but we don't believe that's what killed the baby. And then the pharmacist made a mistake. He's already resigned. And then I want to make this right. I'm going to give you 200,000. It's the least I could do. You're right. It's the least you could do. And I'm like, can't there be some kind of lawsuit for distress? This woman is not thinking clearly. This is a lot of information. And the woman just signed it. I'm like, what? That we just need the banking information and consent. And I'm like, ma'am, you don't think, no, I should get a lawyer? Like, I'm sorry, I guess they're trying to say she's young and there was nobody there with her, so that's the way she's thinking. So she pretty much signed that, and Salen got away with that because really it was her fault or whatever. So then then we see Salen goes and speaks to the pharmacist, and he tells her, I told you what was going to happen. I have emails, I have notes, I have minutes from the meetings, and all this different proof that I told you. And she said, I got all these lawyers on my retainer. So what you gonna do is negotiate. So what do you want? He said, I want my job. And she was like, you can't be, I mean, he can't have his job because she done told the woman he resigned. So she made him take the severance pay and a package and everything, and he'll be able to work at another company or whatever. And I guess they'll just cover up why he left. And yeah, that's she pretty much covered all that thing up, the thing up. And so Lim is trying to like get her. So she tells Leah, give me all the information and everything. So Leah says, well, I'm gonna do it hard copy. She's like, email me. And she was like, nope, whatever you're going after, I'm sure you don't want Salen to know. So I'm gonna print it all out for you. It ended up being like 4,000 pages. She ended up printing. They had binders, like 5, 6 binders. But anyways, she found out that Salen was not the owner of the hospital. It was still in transition. They hadn't quite closed yet. And because of that, the AG could get involved in because Salem was turning away patients because she only wanted to deal with premium care, and you can't do that. And so she goes to the pharmacist, and he says, I've already taken the deal. And she was like, are you going to lie to your kids when they say what happened at your other job? And so he agrees to help her. But then he can't help her because Salem got to him again, and he backs out of the deal. So Lim has to go into the AG by herself, and she's like, listen, this is what she's doing. You told us she was gonna, like, you're supposed to help. Now she asked Glassman to help. He won't do it. So nobody's helping her. Like, nobody's helping her. And so then after that, I'm sorry. Oh yeah. So then after that, she just goes in, and the AG tells her, okay, I'm gonna think about it. Well, she gets a phone call, and the AG says no, and they denied it. So then Salen is just like, goes up to at the end of the show and says, how was your meeting? And she was like, what meeting, Lim? And she said, with the AG. And she was like, I've always been straight with you, Audrey, so I'm not going to forget that you went behind my back. And that's how, I mean, after Sean them, that's how it went off. And that was the good doctor. Listen, but we see next episode something else is going to go wrong, and another patient is going to die because of Salen cutting corners and everything. And I think that's when we're going to see what we've been seeing in the previews, where Sean's like, yeah, I'm gonna stand up for y'all, I'm gonna take her down. So I don't know how this is going to happen. I liked Salen, and I was like, are y'all trying to get rid of her off the show? Is that why y'all making her the bad guy? Because yeah, she did some quirky stuff, but I was like, okay, you could deal with it, but this right here, like, you gotta go, girl. So I don't know if you're gonna be back another season. I think this you're one and done. But it wouldn't be nothing for the good doctor. Mateo came for like a few episodes and he's gone. So I don't know. That was the good doctor, y'all. I'm still loving it. I'm like, when I see this with Sean and Leah, I'm just like, makes sense. Like, I've been saying this from the very beginning. She doesn't want Sean like that. I don't know. They're probably gonna still get married. They're probably gonna figure a way to turn this thing around or whatever. But her overreaction, I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you sound like you don't want to be with him. But that's just my opinion. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next week for another episode of The Good Doctor.